Lokoz boxing. Breaking news, as some of you may have already heard, Manny Pacquiao has officially announced his retirement from boxing. He's hanging up the gloves. Although it's not all sad news, he may be retiring from boxing, but he is planning to become the next president of the Philippines. And if he's able to manage a country as good as he was able to manage the sport of boxing, then the people of the Philippines have good times ahead of themselves. Or at the very least, good leadership. Many of you already suspected that he was going to retire after things didn't go as planned against Yordenis Ugas, but it wasn't official yet. He had said he was still going to think about it. He has now officially announced that he is hanging up the gloves. This is a good thing because it's about time. I think Pacquiao was pushing it by continually trying to push his limits at his age, and as a result of that, he did lose on his last battle. But that very same thing is what makes him so great. I think he is an example for any boxer out there, starting or already active. I can't say enough about Manny Pacquiao and what he gave us through this great sport of boxing. He is the only 8-division champion in the history of boxing, and that's not a small accomplishment. Otherwise, there would be many other 8-division champions out there. I know people will give me a bunch of excuses and not give him that credit, but if it were that easy, there would be 8-division champions all over the place. He won 12 titles throughout his career, and he beat many records. One of them for being the first boxer to ever win the lineal championship in 5 different weight classes. He's the first boxer to win major world titles in 4 of the 8 glamour divisions. And he is the only boxer to hold the world championships across 4 decades. The Pac-Man started as a very humble, poor kid, just looking to come up, looking to get out of a rough situation, to transforming into the Manny Pacquiao that is now running to become president. He's a great fighter, he's a preacher, he's a parent, he's a husband, and he's about to be president of the Philippines, amongst many other titles that he holds. Manny Pacquiao is just a very unique type of fighter that only enters the sport once in a while. I think for me, his most memorable fights are going to be the trilogy fights against Juan Manuel Marquez. I mean, how can we forget those ongoing fights full of action? We also can't forget his fight against Oscar de la Hoya. He fought Miguel Cotto. He took on Mayweather. Didn't go his way, but still, he did manage to fight Mayweather after so many years of the fans waiting on that fight. He fought Marco Antonio Barrera, Eric Morales. After most of his career was already set to be the standard or an example to be an overachiever in the sport of boxing, many people thought he was out of the game as he aged. But then he showed us wrong when he fought Keith Thurman. And he not only fought him, he looked like the younger fighter. He looked like the stronger fighter. But as it happens with all, there comes a time where they need to back down and pass on the torch to the next generation of fighters. If he would have just retired after beating Keith Thurman, then he would have left without taking that additional loss, without going through that experience. But it is very necessary for champions to experience that final loss that puts them to retirement, because that's kind of what lets them know that it's just time. It becomes very dangerous for them to continue with the sport. They continue to age and fight other boxers that are a lot younger and are at the peak of their career. Well, Manny Pacquiao will definitely be missed in the boxing world, whether people admit it or not, whether they know it or not. Let me know what y'all think. What was the best fight that you remember from Manny Pacquiao, or the best moments of his career? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Lokoz Boxing.